Hi, Suspicious here. So, I've always been intrigued by the dark and scary. Ever since I was a little girl, I've been obsessed with stories of vampires, werewolves, and things that go bump in the night. I know this is a gaming channel, but I just thought I'd share this passion with you guys by reading you some creepypastas. So sit back and enjoy the video. Number 5. This urban legend starts off with a standard chain letter urging recipients to visit the website normalpornfornormalpeople.com because it was for the good of mankind. Naturally, having such an intriguing URL, many decided to check it out. As it turned out, it was a fairly basic website with a wall of text on the main page. The only thing that stuck out was the site's tagline: Normal porn for normal people, a website dedicated to the eradication of abnormal sexuality. Apart from that, nothing was of particular interest. Once people visited the site, most would leave after seeing that it was just a bunch of words. However, those who stuck around found out that a lot of the words on the boring text were actually download links to various distressing videos. The shocked people would then gather around on forums and share their experiences, as well as the videos themselves. One of the tamest videos was simply called Peanut, which showed a man, a woman and a dog in the kitchen. The woman would prepare a peanut butter sandwich, which the man would then give to the dog. This happened for a whole half hour. The videos then quickly took a turn for the worse, with the most bizarre being Jimbo. Here, an obese mime is seen performing for 5 minutes. It was somewhat funny, typical mime stuff, but in the last 30 seconds, the man is seen sobbing quietly with his mime outfit still on and makeup still on. Stumps is a 5-minute video of a man with no legs attempting to breakdance in a kitchen similar to that shown in Peanut, but much dirtier. The man collapses, exhausted from the dancing, and begs someone off-screen to let him rest. The off-screen person becomes enraged and yells at the man to keep dancing, which he does. As the video ends abruptly, the off-screen person can be heard screaming. The video privacy starts with a woman masturbating on a mattress while the man with no legs from Stumps walks around on his hands wearing some kind of a goblin mask. What's unusual about this video is that the door is open, while in the rest it's closed. This is significant because near the very end of the video, an animal can be seen quickly running through the hallway. The video named Useless is the absolute epitome of awfulness. A blonde woman is tied and gagged. After the 7-minute mark, a man opens the door. He doesn't enter. An animal, probably the animal seen in privacy, enters. It is revealed to be an abused chimpanzee. The man closes the door, leaving the woman alone with the starved animal. The chimpanzee sniffs the air, notices the woman and begins to maul her alive. The assault goes on for an excruciating 7 minutes until her eventual demise. The video ends with the chimpanzee feasting on her corpse. Number 4. Since this is a gaming channel, I had to include this story. It might not be the scariest creepypasta out there, but it fits the subject of the channel. Hacked games is nothing new to the creepypasta scene, but the most infamous one is the story of Ben Drowned. This is the story of a college boy who picks up a hacked cartridge of The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask at a garage sale. As the boy plays, he captures the strange occurrences in the game and in real life until it ultimately concludes in a full-on haunting. Several catchphrases were popularized by the creepypasta, including "You shouldn't have done that," "You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you?" and "You're next." This is my favorite Zelda game, mostly because it's the darkest of them all. It's easy to see why it became the target of a creepypasta. Number 3. This legend involves a man who checked into a hotel for a few nights. After he obtained his room key, the woman at the front desk warned him that there was one room with no number on the way to his room. She explained that this room was used for storage, and she also warned him not to go into the room or even look inside. The man, although intrigued, went straight to his room without asking any more questions. But by the second night, his curiosity had got the better of him. He tried turning the doorknob, but found it to be locked, just as the woman had claimed. Not to be deterred so easily, the man proceeded to peep through the keyhole. Beyond the door was what looked like a normal hotel room, exactly like his own. However, in the corner stood a very pale woman, with her head resting against the wall opposite the door. Confused, the man returned to his room. On the third day, The man decided to look through the keyhole once more. This time, all he saw was the color red. Nothing else, just a constant, deep shade of red. Maybe the woman had suspected that someone was spying on her and had blocked it with something. The man decided that he would ask the woman at the front desk. She sighed and asked the man if he had looked through the keyhole. After he confirmed that he had, the woman proceeded to tell him the whole story. Many years ago, she said, a man had murdered his wife in that very room, and a ghost now haunts it. The ghost is said to be very pale, except for her eyes, which are bloodshot red. Number 2. According to the legend, there has been many sightings of the rake. In 2003, in the northeast of the US, there was an incident involving a strange human-like creature that attracted a lot of attention. After the story initially broke, most online and written documents were mysteriously destroyed. The sightings continued, and so did the hunt for more information. In 2006, various researchers made a chilling discovery. They had unearthed many documents dating from the 12th century to present day, all describing this creature as the rake. A woman awoke in the middle of the night and accidentally ended up waking up her husband as well. She apologized, and her husband turned around to look at her. He gasped and immediately grabbed his wife, fearing for her safety. At the foot of their bed, sitting and facing away from them, was the infamous creature, which was described as looking like a big, hairless dog. While the couple's eyes were still adjusting to the dark, the creature sprang up and crouched less than a foot from the husband's face. It stared at him for a while, then made a dash for their children's bedrooms. The terrified couple immediately ran after it, fearing the worst for their children, but they were too late. They ran straight to their daughter's room, only to find her mutilated and close to death. As the daughter was dying, her final words were, "He's the rake." Then, as mysteriously as it had appeared, the rake disappeared, never to be seen again. Number 1. Simply known as 1999, this is one of the most chilling urban legends on the internet. The tale follows the journey of a Canadian blogger named Elliot as he tracks down the meaning of a mysterious TV channel he watched in the year 1999. He remembered it being extremely sketchy, and in hindsight, he realized it was most likely run by a local predator. As he continued to investigate, he learned that the man running the channel was attempting to lure children into his house for sacrificial purposes. To top it all off, Elliot also realized that the crazed man was torturing and killing children while wearing a bear costume and calling himself Mr. Bear. There were only a couple of shows that aired on this mysterious channel, most likely because it was only operational from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. The first show was called Booby and featured characters that were live-action hands on top of a table, which was obviously very low budget. The show starred a hand named Booby that would find itself in different situations every episode. However, the episodes got progressively weirder. In fact, during an episode entitled Playing with Scissors, Booby appeared to be holding a pair of scissors while another, smaller hand was jerking violently in the background. Booby then proceeded to repeatedly stab the smaller hand with the scissors, while a muffled child's scream could be heard. The scissors eventually got to the bone and made horrific, crushing sounds. That was the last time Elliot ever watched an episode of Booby. Next up on the psychotic schedule was Mr. Bear's Cellar, which featured the mentally unstable man dressed up as Mr. Bear. You can only imagine what went down during the Mr. Bear episodes, but if you don't imagine it, I will leave a link in the description to the original Creepypasta. Eventually, the police intervened and shut down the sadistic TV channel for good. Hi, Suspicious here. I hope you enjoyed this top 5 list. It was just some of my personal favourite creepypastas. With the month of November coming up, I'm planning to do more gameplay videos. But with the 15-minute restriction, it will be quite hard. But I will post a Fallout 4 first impressions. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And until next we meet, stay suspicious.